Okay, you guys, it's day 6. Are you ready for more ideas of things that you can do with young children while you're at home for extended periods of time? Well, you came to the right place. My name is Amber Lappin, and these are tales of a virtually traveling teacher. Today we're going to do a simple art project. You don't need many things, just some heavy paper, either cardstock or construction paper or even a piece of an old box you're not using anymore. Some scissors for you to cut with, a pencil, it doesn't even have to be sharpened, don't worry, it's not going to be that fancy, and some school glue. You'll also want to gather up some tissue paper. Maybe you have some stored up from those old things we used to go to when we used to go out amongst the three-dimensional people called birthday parties. Maybe you have some of this laying around. It's really simple. To get started, you'll just fold up a piece of tissue paper. It does not need to be fancy, it doesn't need to be cut well. You'll do this ahead of time before your kids sit down. And make maybe, I don't know, 1.5 inches of a tube maybe. And you're just going to cut some squares. So just cut right through. Once you get a square shape, you can cut off the ends like that. It doesn't have to be a perfect square. Don't get yourself crazy for nothing. And you'll have little pieces of tissue paper that look like this. All right, let's get started. First, you'll just pour some school glue into something you have around the house, maybe a recycled jar lid or a paper plate. I have these little paper boats that I like to use. You just pour a whole bunch of glue into that paper boat or paper tray. Just squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Your kids might enjoy doing this. Let them have a little go at it. Just squeeze and fill, I don't know, just the bottom of something like this. And then you're going to grab a piece of paper. If your children are smaller, bigger pieces of paper, older kids can handle ones about this size. They don't have to be perfect. As you can see, they're by no means, it doesn't have to be flat or perfect, anything like that. Now wrap that paper around the end of the pencil, not the sharpened end, but the eraser or the dull end of a pencil. Just wrap the paper around real good. If this feels familiar, it may be because you did it in elementary school. That's where I remember it from. Then you'll take the end of that pencil and hold on, still holding onto the paper, and keep holding onto the paper. You're going to dip it right into the glue. And then, I'll lift this up so you can see, and then you'll just put the gluey end right onto the paper, and then release the paper part and pull your pencil out, and you've got just this little 3-dimensional piece of paper just popping off of the page. Now, there are lots of different variations you can do on this project. The more colors of paper, the better. If you have just one, that's fine. But as you add colors, your kids can make patterns. They can just fill a whole piece of paper. I like to do a smaller piece of paper with smaller children so they can have that gratification of filling the whole page. Another thing you can do is take your pencil and draw a letter on your piece of paper like this. Like this. And then you can have your kids, there goes that pencil again. You have your kids glue their tissue paper all along as they trace the letter. You can do words even, their names, something fun like that. You could even maybe make a gift for a grandparent or a neighbor, maybe a heart or a different shape. So you can keep on gluing along those lines until you have the effect that you want. Just a quick note. For some kids, this accuracy is just going to be way too frustrating and way too hard. Maybe you have a younger sibling that's trying to keep up with an older sibling and wants to do the exact same thing but just can't do it. Or your child's just not ready. Don't despair. You can do variations on this pretty easily. Some people do it just onto their finger. Sometimes that helps a little bit with that dexterity. And some kids, they can just wad that up. It's still getting that nice fine motor control. They can just wad it up, and then they can either dip the wad of paper into the glue like that, or you can get a cotton swab or a small paintbrush, and you can pre-paint the letter or the shape, and they can show you where they want the dots of glue, or you can use a glue stick if it's nice and sticky, and then they can glue it on that way. So there's lots of ways to make this simple. Again, it's another one of those projects that the kids can sit and do independently for a while once they get the hang of it. You can be working right nearby, or you can sit down and enjoy a little bit of time doing this with them. It's amazingly therapeutic to sit and just chat. You can have those nice conversations talking about how they feel about being at home, what things they miss about not being at home, or what do they miss about school, or preschool, or taekwondo, or where they went before. This would be a good time to talk about those things and have some honest conversations where their hands are busy, and you can keep your hands busy and have a little bit of fun too. These can turn out really fun, and the product is really not the whole point. The point is the process. The getting a hang of something, being victorious at something, modifying something if it's not working, getting creative. And when you're done, you can hang it up, have a little art show, take some pictures, post them online, post them to my website. I'd love to see them. I'm already starting to get some pictures of your blanket forts or your box creations. I got a picture the other day of somebody outside with chalk. I love to see the things that you're doing at home with your kids. Please, in the comments, tell me what you're doing. Show me pictures if you feel comfortable. I'd love to see it. Also, if there's something you'd like to see covered, since I'm going to be doing one of these every single day until I get to go back to work, mention that in the comments too. And please like and share and subscribe, and hopefully we'll be back to real life sooner than later. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow.